Hi everyone, you're welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be looking at what Excel understands. Those 4 things Excel understands that you need to understand as well to know how to use effectively or what it does effectively. So with this you can actually learn Excel fast with ease and more efficiency. Now to understand its inbuilt, numbers, true and false, and cell reference. Other than this, we would have to use double quotes. You might not understand what I'm trying to say, but let us look at this in action. So we have these two cells, here and here, using a cell reference and using quotation mark. Now we have this transaction type, sales and return. So we want to actually calculate our sales. But before we do that, we want to actually link these two cells to the sales and as well the return we have right here. So now what we need to do is to highlight the whole thing, and we're going to copy it and we paste it right here. I'm going to paste and we use this paste link. So once we've done this, we can now deselect and actually highlight everything and click on data. Then we're going to remove the duplicate. So continue with current selection, then we remove and we click OK. Okay, then we hit OK. So this is what we have. Right now we want to calculate how much do we have in sales. So using cell reference, and when we get here, we're not going to use cell reference, we're going to actually hand code it. So now what we need to do is just to say equal to SUMIF. So now SUMIF is requesting for the range, so which is this range right here. And once it requests for the criteria, we give it this as criteria using this cell reference. So we are referencing cell F8. Now it's requesting for the what? For the sum range. So we now hit this. So what we do now is to close it and hit enter. This is what we have. So we can now drag this down. Automatically we're going to have the return. So once we actually include include more return, so we're going to have it increased. So if we increase that, maybe we want to add this one to this to return as well. So what we have is we have now this to be increased. So now we're going to be using the same thing, but now this is going to be a little bit different. SUMIF. So once we actually select our range, it will be asking for the criteria, but we don't want to use the cell reference. This time around we want to actually write it on it, cells, and we hit comma. So the sum range is going to be this. Because it is not correct, once we hit enter, we're going to have 0. Why is it happening? We don't want to use the cell reference, we want to actually write it inside it. So but right now it's throwing an error. So what do? Excel is trying to say, I don't understand it. So right now we've talked about the 4 things Excel understands. So we don't meet any of these criteria, so we'd have to use this very quotation mark to show what we want Excel to actually know or understand. Now what we need to do right now, we are going to actually surround this with quotes, these double quotes. So once we hit enter, we're not going to have it calculate automatically, and it's going to be correct. So if we drag it down, you look at this, it is not correct because it is not looking at any cell. So now what we need to do is to actually change this to what? So we're now going to change this from here to return. So once we hit enter, we have it to be correct. But this time around, something again is going to be different. If we make any changes right here, if we make any changes, like we change the whole sales to something else. So we change the whole sales from sales to no cells. So once we change the whole cells to no cells, it's going to actually, be effective right here, but affect this badly. So now we replace and we say, okay, now because this is not linked to this, it is not working. But here is working. As soon as we actually undo it, we have it work properly. I hope you've gotten this very trick right now. So if you don't have your quotation mark while you want to actually write it in between, so you're going to have a big problem. But if you want to actually reference it, it is very easy, because every single time you make any changes, it's going to have to affect your calculation as well. I hope this very trick helps you, and this is what you need to know to work in Excel with ease. So understand the 4 things Excel really understands. So if you're not meeting any of these criteria, you would have to use this double quotation mark. Thank you for watching.